What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new season, a brand new year of Back from the Dead. I am the BrettMan, alongside with my co-host Destiny. So, Destiny, new year, new Back from the Dead. How are you doing? And are you ready to rock and roll for another year and tolerating me for a whole another year due to the contract talks?
I think so.
You think so?
I
Well,
think
there
so.
is that written clause. If I ever, yeah, guys, I'm not allowed to do any more puns. I'm not allowed to do any more dad jokes. I'm just not allowed to do pretty much of anything. Anything I do wrong, there is a state in her contract that she can leave immediately and never come back. So be sure I'm just on my best behavior. See,
Could you
even the screen,
imagine?
yeah, even the screen told me to be on my best behavior. So.
I just click off and you'll never hear from me again. I've thought about it. I'm just kidding. I haven't.
No, come on now. Oh, come on. But yes,
I,
guys, ladies and gents, we are all back from the dead. So just in case if you're brand new here, perfect time to be brand new here because we're starting a brand new season. So pretty much all this show is, we're celebrating horror movie anniversaries and maybe a TV show there or two if anything is worth mentioning. And last year we covered movies that ended the years of 8 and 3, but this year, since it's 2024, we're going to be doing years that ending in the numbers of 9 and 4 and celebrating the movies from last year from 2023 as well, because there are some definitely great year for horror last year and they need to be celebrated. So before we march on here, because I know everyone in the chat is in the very football mood today, so I want to make sure you all get to your football games. Let's say hello to the chat. We got Lamantra. What's going on, my friend? He messaged in this chat since yesterday. So Lamantra was excited since yesterday for the brand new season of Back from the Dead. We got Chad. What's going on there, Chad? He's a big fan of Intruder, and we will definitely talk about that movie here coming up. We got Chester. What's going on there, Chester? We got, let's see here. We got Rosie, my dear. Rosie, here is your lovely rose, your new rose of 2024. There you go. So who else we got here? There's Goodwill Hunting. I'm not sure who those asshats are. Raymond, what's going on? How are you doing? Let's see who else. We got Mark Jones. What's going on? We got Zodiac C. What's going on? Anybody else? There's Ashton saying, hey, friends, saying, Brett. I'm kidding. Yeah, I know. It's okay. I'm used to it. SPC, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Aaron Click, what's going on? And Aaron, I am going to get your gift card today. I haven't forgot about you. It's just a busy past couple of days. And also, you want to thank this competitor right here for not meeting you in the finale.
Hey, you know what's crazy? So the next day, the next day at work, I won a $25 gift card for like a thing at work.
Oh, what'd you get? Like
I
Amazon?
bought, yeah, I did Amazon. So I didn't win that one, but I did win one the next day, and I was like, "What are the odds?" That's pretty crazy.
Well,
So,
I get.
Aaron, and we deserved it because we were struggling fucking typing. What did I say? Michael something instead of Michelle Pfeiffer, and I swear, what pissed me. Let me rant really quick.
Michael Powers.
Pissed me off about that, yeah. But what I had typed looked so much closer to Michelle Pfeiffer. It was still probably spelled wrong. Don't get me wrong. But it looked at least like her fucking name. When I sent it, I was like, Brad's definitely not going to fucking count that one.
Oh, I know. And I was looking, I was like, I knew what you meant. But Brad's like, nah, I'm just going to hate on everybody.
And I understand because it was pretty fucking out there. But I want you to know what I had originally typed looked so much closer to Michelle Pfeiffer. That was what auto-corrected because I was typing so fast. And I didn't know how to spell it. So I was just trying.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, when I sent it, I was like, oh my fuck, dude. Come on. I wanted to break my phone, not gonna lie.
No, but we're definitely going to figure it out next year to try to solve those issues. Just because, like, we want to start rewarding more people. We understand the typing and all that, but we do appreciate you playing. At least you were definitely a top competitor, and I'm glad that the universe still rewards you with a gift card.
Yeah, it was fun. Everyone kept trying to talk to me. I was like, don't talk to me right now. This is serious. Literally, my brother was like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
Yeah, I got went
pocket."
hard, and then
Literally.
want to reveal what happened towards the end, or do you just want to keep that? You fell asleep.
Yeah,
Apparently,
I was doing good.
Desi was very bored of Brad's freaking digs at her throughout the entirety of the night. It beat her down so much that she literally went
Yeah,
to sleep of sadness.
that's exactly what happened. Thanks,
But yeah,
Brad.
yeah, Brad, if you are watching somewhere, thank you so much. You all have to pretty much you gotta just fix this broken bond, and hopefully we're going to do it in
I thought we
October.
were fine. And then I
Oh,
felt like it was a little, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I
no,
thought we were good.
no, he's good. He appreciates you, and we're all on good terms. But you know what? We'll officially we'll figure out the root of the problem in October.
You know what it needs to be? You know what needs to happen?
A shot.
I was saying Call of Duty.
Oh,
Maybe that's
hey,
it. We haven't played
me
in a
and
while.
Brad been playing zombies for so much. We don't even play multiplayer anymore. So y'all need to hop on zombies. It's so much fun.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So next time you're free, I'll show you and Braden around the world of zombies. It's so much fun. You'll probably never go back, but we have gone so left field on this. So let's go back to our lovely people here. Let's see here. We got Gavin. What's going on, Gavin? What's going on? Let's see here. BrettMan, why don't you just sit there and just look pretty while Des talks? Okay. Des, you have access to everything, so I'm just gonna it's your show. So here we go.
Finally, this is what I've been saying. Oh. Nope, I'm not doing all this. I'll leave.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I can't do that to you. Plus, I got control of everything. So I don't want to make things awkward here. Aaron Clay says, needs to be a breach of contract with no repercussions. We need the bad puns. Well, I'm sorry, man. It's clearly stated in the contract. The contract was finalized as I was watching the movie The Beekeeper last night, and I just really needed to be careful. So crap. See, I already broke the rule already. So, all right, let's see here. Cody Snyder, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing? We got Blu-ray Addict in the house. We got Brother Fluff. I'll kick his ass when I see him in October. Yes, he owes just a straight old good kick in the ass, and I have to take it. So. Brett just wants to drink. Yeah, I definitely want to drink today. I'm just waiting for football to be over today so I can have a shot of some whiskey that my cousin bought me for Christmas this year. I told him I will only open it if I win fantasy today, and hopefully we're going to win today. So let's see here. And I think that is it. So awesome. So let's go ahead and get down to business. We got 17 people watching, saying that we appreciate you all. And like I said in the chat, let's make this the absolute best year of Back from the Dead, the best season ever. And let's start it right now, all the way heading back to 1939, such a long time ago. And that is going to be for a movie called Son of Frankenstein. Des, I know we talked about all these particular movies about Frankenstein, Dracula, and all their little spin-offs too. And this one's kind of like a little spin-off, just like the attached universe to these classic Universal monster movies. This one, again, just with some of these movies here, you see right here, pretty solid score. So this definitely gets me interested to watch this eventually, along with the other kind of spin-off Universal monster movies. So what about you? Are you interested in this movie, or are you kind of just still interested in everything together that is the Universal Monsters franchise?
Yeah, I still haven't really watched much from the last time we've talked about them. The only newer one, well, obviously not new, but newer for me, one that I've seen was Bride of Frankenstein. So I still have so many to go through. And hopefully this year I'll try to, because when we're talking about them last time, the movies are all pretty similar. At least the main 8 are all very similar. And so it can be repetitive, I think. So I don't want to watch them all too close together because then I'll get bored. Because also, it's just not my favorite style of movies. I mean, they are very, very old. And, I'm not. I'm spoiled with movies from like today and even like from the 80s and up and the 70s. So that's so far back. So the acting style isn't my favorite, but I do just want to watch them for like the respect, really. But I don't want to watch them all back to back, or else I'll probably get burnt out with them. So slowly over time. And I do want to watch this one because I want to watch them all at some point.
Yeah, and I agree with you. It's just like the 30s is not my style either, but kind of like you say, you just want to do it out of the respect of the genre. Just because horror movies started from somewhere, and it started with the 21 of Nosferatu, which it's kind of funny how we got Nosferatu like almost pretty much 100 years ago, and now we're just getting 100 years later a brand new Nosferatu movie. So horror always comes from somewhere, and it needs to be respected. So that's why I'm kind of like with you. I want to watch these Universal monster movies, but at the same time, the 30s it's just not in my bag of like just like, yay, I'm excited to watch a 30s movie. Like, give me my trashy like remake from the 2000s and I'm all set. Or a movie I noticed you watch the other day I'm actually a fan of is The Roommate. Like, give me movies like that, because like I can have fun with those, but for some reason the 30s it's just I can't.
Yeah, and like objectively, like The Roommate is obviously like worse than like Frankenstein, you know, like it is. But I would rather watch The Roommate than watch Frankenstein. I haven't seen that movie in so long, and I liked it a lot as a kid. And I saw it on Tubi, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch it, because I've been trying to watch a movie every day this year, and I've done very well so far. And so I was like, I haven't seen it in a while, I'm just gonna put it on. And I was like, yep, this is as fun as I remembered. It's not very good, but it's a good time. For sure.
Yeah, it plus Minka Kelly, like, love her.
I mean, the entire cast is amazing. Like, I didn't realize like how many people from like the Vampire Diaries are in it, which I've never even seen the show, but I know the cast, and so many of them in it. Gossip Girl, Twilight, the boyfriend is from Twilight, and so the cast is like stacked up with like just hit people of the time. So it was very cool to see. I'm glad I watched it again because it was just fun.
Yeah, I need to watch it again, because when I looked at mine, I gave it a 2. So I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I like this movie a lot better if I gave that score in the case. So I'm going to give it a rewatch as well. And just in case for all the guys in the chat who are sportsy, Friday Night Lights, that's another show that Minka Kelly was in. But that was like one of her big startup shows as well. So I want to throw in along with the ones you mentioned as well. So yeah. Oh, and real quickly, sorry, going left field real quick, because you talked about watching a new horror movie or just watching a movie every day. Thank you so much for finally watching Terminator and you giving it an amazing score. So if you want to give your quick thoughts on Terminator, because I've been curious for the longest time. And plus, Terminator would be talked about again in October for a big anniversary.
I really love, and I was talking to Brady about last night, because I was like, going into it, I didn't think I wouldn't like it, you know, but I didn't think like I would have as good of as like a time that I was having. Like I was fully invested like the whole time. I loved the characters, and there's a lot more humor than I was expecting, and so I really appreciated that as well. That it was a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be, because that just kept me like interested. And like the story itself is cool. Like obviously I knew of who the Terminator was. I knew Sarah Connor, so like I knew that aspect of the story, but I didn't know everything else surrounding it. And I didn't know, well, I kind of knew of that it was a little bit of a love story, because I would see a meme talking about Sarah Connor sleeping with like this dirty like looking man, you know, and he's like stole the jeans or whatever. So they make jokes about like how nasty he looks, and they still sleep together. So like I knew that as well a little bit just from like a meme. But going into it, besides that, there's a whole lot that I didn't know. And I was fully engaged the whole time. I was actually sad at the end. Besides like a little bit of funky editing, I think, with one of the like car scenes, I was like, oh, like if that wasn't for there, I would have given it a 5 out of 5. That part was a little bit, and I guess the ending is a little bit slower than like the buildup of the movie, like, you know. So besides that, though, I thought it was great. I thought it was wonderful, and I really am excited to watch the second one, just because there's always the talk that it's like a better movie than the first one. So I'm excited to watch that. I might watch it today. It is like 2.5 hours long. And Brady said he wants to watch it with me. So if we can't watch it today, then I'll watch something else, like whatever. But I am excited to get to the second one.
Yeah, you definitely have to, because like, even though just know that the second one is more, it's pretty much just all action. They took pretty much all the horror elements out of it, which I just want to let you be aware of that.
Which
but
I know
it's still
that.
fantastic.
And it kind of like, that does kind of like suck a little bit, because like I really like that aspect of it. But if it's like a good enough story and, you know, I'm paying attention and stuff, like whatever. But I do really like that. I know people consider like the first one a horror movie, but not so much any of the rest of them. And I kind of feel like it's similar with like how like Alien and Aliens, like Alien is definitely much more like atmospheric horror, like scary. And the second one, it still has a little bit of that, but it's definitely more action packed and like big set pieces and stuff. So, and I still liked Aliens, but I preferred Alien.
Oh, definitely prefer Alien all day, every day on that. And I bet you remember that probably the first time you heard of Terminator is Scream 2. Sarah Connor.
Yeah, and then they got the thing wrong for Alien and Aliens. They had him like flipped or whatever. And I wasn't expecting to see Bill Paxton. He shows up for a split second, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's Bill Paxton!" And then. And then, yeah, because it has, you know, a lot of the overlapping cast. So that was just fun to see, because a lot of them are also in Near Dark. So it's cool to see, like, all these overlapping people, like, working in the same movies again. That's always fun. So I was very excited to see Bill Paxton. Lance Hendrickson, he was great in it, of course. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. I wanna buy it, actually. I don't own it, so I would like to own it.
Wait, is that for Aliens or Terminator?
Terminator. I do have Aliens.
Yeah, definitely easily added to your collection. And sorry, the last thing, because I remember you talked about what hold a bag of some of the effects on there. Nothing beats the effect more. For what, like, I want to give it a 5 out of 5 perfect score, but I can't because of one particular scene, and that's just Arnold Schwarzenegger staring at the mirror.
Okay, yeah, some of those parts too were definitely weird. Like when it's like the fake face, and I was like, I get what they're going for, but
it doesn't not
like fully hold up. But sometimes, like whenever I watch movies like that, if it doesn't look the best, I'm like, oh, whatever. It's a part of its charm. I just excuse it, because I still at least appreciate that it's practical, even if it doesn't look great. It's still practical. They're still trying, and I will give them props for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, you have to. And I'll be back. No, I'm just kidding. Yes. I just want to throw that line in there for some reason. But anyways, just wanted to get your thoughts on that. And even though we will definitely talk about that again, because this movie deserves to be talked about twice in October when we do the big October special, because it has a big anniversary coming up. I believe it's the 40th anniversary of Terminator this year. So that's pretty crazy. For 40 years that the Arnold is still going strong. So I want to get these people real quick. Jamie, sorry, I didn't ignore you guys. We were in heavy talks with Terminator. So we got Jamie. What's going on there? Jamie, how are you doing? We got Evil Alex saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Alex. And Dana, I got this comment again, but I won't give you the proper hello. Hello there, Dana Bobanner. So I want to make sure you say hi to them. And Destiny, did you have anything, this is according to my notes, did you have anything below the 80s? So anything from the 70s and below? Okay, awesome. So we're going to go ahead and go into 1984 with a little flick that came out in 84, even though some of it says 83, but I found one that said 84. And I want to talk about this movie, and that is Angel. This actually was one of the movies that happened for one season of the last drive-in. And at first thought for me, I didn't feel like I was going to like this movie at all. I'm like, okay, first off, she looks way too young. But even though she is just freaking awesome, that's only thing. It's been a while, but I remember her being awesome. And I just kind of like all the random characters. Desi, was this the movie with that weird guy in the girl outfit, like acting all crazy?
Yeah, and it also has I can't remember her name, but she's like the aunt from Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker.
Yes.
She's in this as well, and she's like crazy eyebrows, like double eyebrows. I remember she had two different like eyebrows on both sides of her face. So there's a lot of crazy characters, and it's all very interesting. Like you said, she is like 14, and she goes to school by day, and by night she's a sex worker. And so, and
Very
there's like
ballsy for the 80s too.
yeah, and it's very sleazy, very like gross movie, and it's like showing like, you know, and it's so interesting because it's like it gives like this voice sort of like it gives these people a voice in like the movie, and I really like that. I wasn't expecting to like it so much, and when they showed on the last drive-in, it was when David Gordon Green and Jason Blum. It was the episode that they were on.
Okay.
I believe David Gordon Green, he chose this episode, and then Jason Blum chose Terror Train. And so this was David's movie to choose for the Halloween episode. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I think there's 3 movies in total. I haven't seen any of the other ones, but I really did enjoy this movie so much more than I was expecting. And like, you really care for the main girl, for Angel, and she's the girl that screams a lot in Jaws 2. She's the one that was like always screaming.
Oh, okay.
But she's really good in this movie. I really, really like this one.
I really do too. That's why I definitely was excited to bring it up. Like when I saw it on the list, I was like, yes, this movie is. And plus, this also just shows the importance of The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob, because without his show and his knowledge about all the horror, like these movies would easily be forgotten. So that's why I wanted to show appreciation for any movie that I recognize through The Last Drive-In. And I know you are, again, the biggest drive-in fan, because you made me one as well, even though I got to do a better job watching The Last Drive-In this year, because last year, awful. Definitely one to...
With this like new season, I think it's when they're supposed to start doing one movie an episode instead of 2. That way they can prolong the season and keep it going for like throughout the year.
That's smart.
But it'll also be easier to watch, because a lot of people like me, we could make it to the first movie, and the second movie we're out. Like,
we're done.
It's rare that I could actually, for one season, I actually did stay up almost every episode. I was doing really good. But I also wasn't working on Fridays. So it's like easy to not work when you're able to sleep in, you know. And so now I don't do that because I work Fridays, and a lot of people do. So it's really hard to stay up. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the new change, because it'll be easier to watch and then easier to catch up on, because even like trying to go back and watch a 6-hour thing is still hard to do just within a day. That's still a lot to watch. So if you miss it Friday, it's like, fuck, when am I actually going to sit back and like try to watch this again? I don't know. It's hard.
So yes, excited. And I also remember too that like back when you were getting me involved in it, like to be a fan and everything, like you gave me the duty, like, hey, you better make sure I'm awake. And I'm like usually like the one trying to message you, or even one time I actually did call you.
Yeah, and I answered it, and my phone was out, because like you call me when I'm asleep. As soon as I hang up,
pretty much it is. Yeah.
Literally. And like I didn't even remember it. So like I'm so in and out of it.
Yeah, it was after that I messaged you guys. So, do you want me to do the whole phone call? You went no. I'm like, got it, because we just knew that wasn't going to work. So
no, there's that one at one point when I just can't fight anymore. I'm like, whatever, fuck it. But then I wake up pissed off that I missed the episode, because I always wake up like 3 a.m. and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, it actually really would bother me. That's how it feels. And I'm like sitting there like Nancy, literally like in and out. Like I need a coffee pot. I need Hypnosil. I need something, because I just cannot stay awake whatsoever, because I'm laying in my bed. But also, what am I supposed to do? Sit in this uncomfy chair? No, because then I'll be like, okay, let me just lay down for a second, and then I'm fucking asleep. I'm like a grandma.
Yeah, come on, Ben. Like, be nice. Like,
I know.
I'm older than her, and then like she goes to sleep way more like earlier than I do. I'm like, that's completely backwards.
I'm just tired.
Well, because you work too hard. And
No,
plus you have to put up with a lot of people too, and that's tiring too. So
that is tiring.
so and Ben, just in case if I did not say hi Ben, how are you doing, my friend? And thank you for joining us. And I could have swore there was somebody else. I think I forgot him, and shame on me. I will look in a minute, but I have to address a very important issue that everybody, Zodiac C is a sex worker, so please help your local sex workers and help Zodiac C's to make sure that he earns some money.
There we go.
So there we go. And then anything else you want to talk about with Angel before we move on?
Nope. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that'll like towards the end of the episode, we'll give our recommendations to some movies, and you can guarantee this will be one of mine as well, and I'm sure it'll be one of Destiny's as well. It's just a little spoiler right there. So, anything else from '84 Destiny?
No.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to 1989 and talk about pretty much, in my opinion, three bangers. And we'll go these one-on-one real quick. Or not real quick, but we're definitely going to dive into these. But the first one, another Joe Bob's The Last Drive-In movie that was shown. That is Black Roses, was released on January the 3rd of 89. Those are the streaming sites below that you can watch this very criminally underrated and fun time movie with a fantastic score to it. And that's all pretty much I remember. It's just how much the score kicked ass in this movie. If you give me a good score, I'm going to give you a star automatically for the ranking. So Destiny, what about you? Do you remember Black Roses and the soundtrack?
Yes, that was another one shown on The Last Drive-In, and I would not have probably seen it without it. But I don't remember a whole lot of the movie other than I do remember enjoying it. Like, it is bizarre, and it's like, what the fuck, and it's like out there, and it's like it's a like rock and roll type of horror movie, and I love those. And so I remember it being a lot of fun, and I do remember the soundtrack actually being good. And I remember like the band playing and like all the crazy stuff happening. But I also watched Black Roses and I think Trick or Treat in the same year. And that's another rock and roll style horror movie. And so I feel like I'm getting parts of it like overlapped. So I would like to rewatch both of those separately because I enjoyed both of them a lot. But I feel like they're becoming one movie in my head. But yes. I remember some really red blood. I do remember that. Or I remember paint. I remember they had paint in one of the scenes in Black Roses. Red paint for some reason.
The one thing I remember the most is a certain thing coming out of a record player. And that made me literally go, what the fuck? But in the best way possible. Because I just wasn't expecting something to happen just so dramatically like that. And that's the thing I remember. So just for this movie alone, it's that scene that awesome. But yeah, score is fantastic. And I could not recommend this movie enough as well. And then the next one, and Chad mentioned this one earlier. This one I have a really fun time with, but Destiny, I'll let you go first on this one. This is Intruder that was released on January the 13th of 1989. That is on Tubi right now. So Destiny, you first. What do you think about Intruder?
This is another one that I would like to rewatch because I've only seen it the one time, but I remember it being so much fun. I actually remember really enjoying the characters a lot more than, when you watch like an 80s slasher, a lot of times the characters aren't the best. But I do remember liking at least like the two girls that are like friends in the movie. I remember really liking them. Has some really interesting, great kills. I know, is it Sam Raimi? No, it's Ted Raimi that's in it, right?
Yes.
Sam Raimi's, yeah.
That sounds right. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
I think it is Ted Raimi. He's in it. The killer, I thought, like, reveal was fun. So I remember this one being a lot of fun. And it's set in a grocery store. We don't really see that too often. So this one's a lot of fun.
It's actually, Ted Raimi's in it. He's to produce Joe, but Sam Raimi was also in it as Randy.
Okay, cool.
So it's pretty cool to see both.
Yeah. I remember some specific kills in it too. They make like use of like the grocery store setting, which I also like. I like that it's in it, but they're also taking advantage of the setting itself. So you don't see a lot of movies in like grocery stores. I know Bait is in a grocery store, but that's a shark movie, so very different. But it's just a fun setting. You don't see it too often. So I really like this one. I want to go back to it because it's been probably like 2 or 3 years since I've seen it.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned the just how fun of a horror movie can be if you put it in such a unique place, kind of like a grocery store. I like for horror movies to like take on that challenge and just do more horror movies in very unique places. Like I know we kind of had one that actually that came out this past week of Night Swim, which I kind of call Day Swim. You'll know you if you know, you know. But yeah, so it's just like if you just do a horror movie, I want to see that more horror movies in unique locations. Is there one like on the top of your head, real quick, that like, oh, they should do a horror movie in this sort of location? Because I got one right off the top of my head, and that's a cruise ship. Actually, you know what? That's probably I know. I fucked it. I'm gone.
Yeah, I don't want to see any more cruise ship horror at all. Thank you. Because I'm going.
Sorry. I was putting myself in timeout because as soon as I said, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm in trouble. So breach of contract. But no. But that is actually my answer, though, and the heavily rumored thing was Evil Dead, supposed to take place maybe in the future on a cruise ship, which I think that would be excellent. So, but yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What about you? Is there any particular unique setting that you would like for a horror movie to take place in?
I mean, I know The Strangers Pray at Night was in a trailer park, and there's definitely some used like what's the movie called Killer Joe with Matthew McConaughey, like that takes place in a trailer park, but that's more like a thriller. But I think trailer parks, because like they're big a lot of the times and there's a lot of space that you can utilize with them, and yeah, so, and I know there's some like really bad like Trailer Park Massacre. I'm not watching that though. I want a good movie.
Right. And then Brother Flood mentions he wants to see one at a zoo, which that's a very unique one. I don't think I can't know one movie that takes place at a zoo. Oh,
I can think of one. The Happening. There's a scene with the animals because the lion bites his head off.
Oh my gosh, the freaking Happening. You're going to kill me in my sleep. What? No, I'm not going to do that. Like, you're definitely going to kill me in my sleep in the middle of the night, you dirty. What? No! That's the only thing I like about that movie. And for some reason, sometimes I just walk randomly around my house and just go, what? No!
What? Oh, Jamie also says Split is in a zoo. That's true, because it takes like place like under the park.
Underground. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There you go, Jamie. That's another good one.
Nice. So, hell yeah. So great job. Oh, horror at Home Depot. You'll get nailed to the driveway.
There we go.
Anyone? I like this one. Shopping mall setting in horror. Shopping mall being the best example of all time. But yes, I would like to go back to the shopping mall.
Yeah, shopping mall. What is it? Dawn of the Dead, the remake, and I guess the original. I haven't seen the original, but that's also in a shopping mall. Got a couple, but yeah, again, big setting, so a lot of space you can utilize that with.
Oh yeah, especially like different kind of stores and all that. So yeah, that's a very good one. So let's see here. Have you ever seen Cutting Class with Brad Pitt? Quick question, real quick. I've never heard of that one.
Is it good?
Yeah, let us know, Blu-ray, because again, good reel hunting, we always hunt for those good reels. So let us know if that's a good reel that we need to check out. And last one, I want more movies in creepy amusement parks. That's another strong one too.
Oh yeah, I like that.
And then strictly in one bathroom stall. We already got that one with Demon and Friday the 13th Part 5.
Yeah.
This shit box is
Can't
gross.
leave though. You have to say that once. Oh, I was rewatching Friday 13th Part 3 yesterday, and I love that movie, but I fucking hate the opening because it's so
Oh,
nasty.
God.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh. So you said bathroom stall. It made me think of that outhouse. And I was just like, this is disgusting. I hate the opening of Friday 13th Part 3.
Oh,
It's just
yeah.
gross.
No, seriously, like the last watch of it, I really kind of like just like kind of like that. Like this is unnecessarily gross. Like they didn't have to do all that. So I agree with you. So let's see here. All right, I think that's it from the comments about that. So anything else about Intruder before we head into the main event for 1989?
Nope, a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. A lot of fun. Definitely do not remake that one because it will not be as good. So, the main event from 1989, a lot of people enjoyed this movie. This is Pumpkinhead, that was also released on January the 13th of 1989. This is on Tubi right now if you are interested to watch it or just want to rewatch it again. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of this movie, and I'm not sure why, because I know we got Lance Hendrickson. Is that it? Hendrickson? Yeah, because you mentioned him earlier. Yeah, he's in this movie. And then just, I'm not sure what did it for me. I'm not sure if it was the group of kids who I just did not care about, or and then this is going to be a little controversial. I do not like the look of Pumpkinhead, because when I first heard this movie, I'm like, oh, this is going to be kind of like what Des has got in her background. It's just that Pumpkinhead right there. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, I was totally disappointed when I actually saw the creature. It's just, I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch this because again, I am not a fan of it. And it was so bad, like for me, I can't even remember a particular scene except for the tragic thing that happens at the beginning of the movie. So, but I'm going to stop with that. So, Desi, are you a fan of this movie, or are you kind of on the same level that it's just okay?
I did enjoy it. I've only seen it once, and I would like to watch it again during like October, because I think it has really good like spooky vibes because a lot of it takes place like outside and there's like a lot of like fog and stuff. And going into it, I knew what Pumpkinhead looked like, so I knew that it wasn't going to be an actual pumpkin head. So that probably helped me though. What I did like though was a story of like it's revenge basically, and it's really sad. I remember, the scene that you're talking about. I was just like, oh my god, this is a lot darker than I was expecting before this movie. But I've only seen it that one time. I do remember giving it, I think I gave it 3 out of 5, maybe 3.5. I wasn't as big on it as like a lot of people were, but that's okay because I still enjoyed it overall. And that's one I do want to get because I don't own. It was on sale. I almost bought it, and I was like, no, I don't need to buy it. But check Amazon because they might still have it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I remember giving it a 3 out of 5, but Brad always makes fun of me with my 3 out of 5s because Brad pretty much just says if you get a 3 out of 5 from Brad, that pretty much means you're going to be forever forgotten. So because I just pretty much, if I'm just like meh, I always give it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and that is the most dangerous rating for me.
Yeah, I would say I'm the same way. I always just fall into like the 3, and then like if I enjoyed it, but it was just like whatever, or like if I liked it, but obviously I didn't love it, it's 3.5. But I had 3s out, just like boop boop. But last year, a lot of the movies were 3.5s for me. Like at least half of them were just 3.5s because I was like, that was good. Boop. Almost everything. I was just like, holy shit, what the fuck? Why are they all 3.5s?
Hey, you're picking good reels.
Yeah, I am. Give me something good.
Yeah, so let's actually, sorry, I'm reading this real quick. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to interfere in that conversation. AB, I'll see my way out of it. Let's see here. Love that scene on the holy ground towards the end. Peak Pumpkinhead. Yeah, I guess that's like if there's one good compliment I can do is kind of like the holy ground scene because it was interesting because it built up the whole time. It's like, yes, I'm ready to see this creature. And when it rose above, I'm like, oh. Like literally, that's how I reacted. I'm like, crap. Well, that was a little disappointing, but I understand a lot of people really appreciate this movie, so that's why I was trying to, like Cody Snyder said, trade lightly. So I'm just going to stop it with that. So just I respect the movie, but it's just not for me. So, Brother Fluff says, "Wait, you said my jokes are 3 out of 5? What a fucking I'm not saying I'm not an asshole. Now, Brother Fluff, why would you say hurtful things like that? You know what? I'll make that 2 kicks in October. You get 2 free kicks, 1 for each cheek. So let's see here. Gavin says, "Ew, so your 3-star rating for Hellraiser 3 makes me even angrier."
I did enjoy Hellraiser 3, and I will rewatch that because I've only seen it that one time, and I did watch it last year, though. Because I just rewatched the first and the second one in October. So I would like to watch the third one. I did enjoy it, though. But yeah, I don't know. You were mad because look, Hellraiser just confuses me. I'm like, do I like this? Do I not like it? It's both for the second one. But I did enjoy the third one more than the second one. So I need to go back and watch the third one because I enjoyed the second one more than the first time I watched it. And I love the first one, though. That's something that will not change. I love the first Hellraiser. That movie is fantastic.
Perfection, and I agree with that. And it would be hilarious if you rewatch Hellraiser 3 and you don't like it. It could be like a classic Alan from Hangover, classic mess up.
I do remember. Really, I did like it. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, and real quick, Chester asked this question earlier from what I saw. Wasn't Dick Warlock in the opening scene of Pumpkinhead or in the middle parts? Do you remember that at all?
I don't.
Here, I could look it up real quick. Let's see here, Pumpkinhead, and let's see Pumpkinhead. Drew Refuse, what's going on, my friend? Just stop by real quick to say hi to everyone. Hi there, Drew.
Hi.
Let's see here. Let's see here. Dick Warlock. Dick Warlock was Clayton Heller in the movie.
Oh.
So yeah, Dick Warlock was in Pumpkinhead. See, I didn't know that. So hell yeah.
No, I'll have to keep a better eye out because I don't remember seeing him. But maybe he's like one of the older people in like the flashbacks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good bet. So let's see here. Anything else with Pumpkinhead before we move on?
Nope.
Awesome. And real quickly, the forgotten person. So hopefully you're still in the chat. So I can first off apologize for missing you. And second, Janine, I believe you are new here on Good Will Hunting. So if just in case if you are, because I'm almost at a point now where I'm getting old and my memory's getting fuzzy. So if you are new here, everyone in the chat, you know what to do. Please make Janine feel welcome to Good Will Hunting. And again, I apologize for getting your comment very extremely late, like 43 minutes late. So I apologize. And then real quickly, Chester's got a birthday in 5 days on the 12th. So I'll be sure to get the vocals ready to wish you a happy birthday in 5 days.
Happy early birthday.
See. So let's see here. All right, and thank you, Drew. Go Chiefs. Even though we deserve better than 3 seed, but we suck. Anything else from 89?
I have 2, both movies I haven't seen, but I have heard of, so I thought I would mention them. One of them being Parent. It's supposed to be like a dark comedy, about parents. Yeah, that's all I really know.
I'm sold.
Yeah, and then there's Deep Star 6. Haven't seen it again, but I have seen the poster for it many times, so I thought I would mention it.
Awesome. And wait, guess whose birthday it is today? Gavin, it's not your birthday, is it?
Gavin, is it your birthday?
If it is, we're going to have to bring the vocals out. Be truthful. So we're going to give you a minute. So, okay. So I do not have anything from the 90s. Is that correct on your end?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, again, damn 90s. And 2004, I almost left this one off, but luckily I did a recheck on all my findings. No, it's Nicolas Cage's birthday.
Happy birthday, Nicolas Cage.
Happy birthday, Nick Cage. Renfield, and oh god. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Gavin's birthday today. I just have a good feeling about it. So once you're truthful, we will wish you a happy birthday. So let's go to 2004 because this is the movie I almost left off, and I definitely want to mention it. It's Tremors 4: The Legend Begins, and just in case if you don't know much about this movie, this is actually a prequel. So don't let the 4 fool you. This is kind of where it's weird. They call it 4, but it's technically a prequel. And so Destiny, I cannot remember. I think we talked Tremors a long time ago. It's been a while. So just to refresh on memory, how do you feel about the Tremors franchise? Have you seen the franchise? If so, are you interested in the franchise?
I've seen the first one, and I think that's all I've seen. I've watched all the kill counts. And really, past the second one, I don't think I have any interest because they just look like they get really bad. But I did enjoy the first one a lot. And I can't remember if I've seen the second one. I thought I might have, but I don't think I have. But I do want to watch the second one at least. But everything else, I really don't have an interest.
Pretty much here's in a nutshell because me and Brad did a ranking for it for a Patreon request from Heather when she was a Patreon. She wanted me and Brad to rank the franchise, and pretty much this is all you need to know. First one, classic. Second one, I almost to a T prefer it to the first one because it's for some reason it's more fun, even though what holds it back is no Kevin Bacon. That's
exactly.
the sad part. Yeah,
exactly.
So
that's my thing. There's no Kevin Bacon.
And you know what they say, bacon makes everything better. And then let's see here. The third one, it's just fun. That's all it is. The fourth one, it's again weird going in reverse, but it's kind of interesting at the same time, but definitely not stronger than the other three. And then 5 and beyond, wish they never existed. Because especially the last one and what I heard about it, I'm extremely pissed off about it. So I just pretend those don't exist.
Okay.
So just 1 through 3 in my recommendation.
All right, I'll have to watch at least the other 2 then.
I would recommend that. And happy Sanjo, what's going on? You have been a real hunter for 1 month, dude. That is so awesome and is always appreciated. So thank you so much, happy Sanjo. And bacon does make everything makes everything better. Tasty. God, I can't talk today, so I'm just going to stop before I embarrass myself. Guys, I only had like 6 hours of sleep. I have not been. Oh, wait a minute. Yay, Ben's a member now. I got. Oh, happy Sanjo, you gifted a good real membership to freaking Ben. Dude, that's so thoughtful of you. So that has to be deserving a quick super chat because anything money-wise, we're going to do it. And what better way to celebrate than having one of our classic money fights?
Investors. Where do we find investors?
Right there.
Oh, hello, Belchers. Just having one of our money fights.
Just one of our classic money fights. So happy Sanjo. Thank you so much again for being a strong contributor to the channel. And speaking of which, Chris Snyder has been a member for 10 months. So thank you so much, Chris. What's going on, man? Saying, just wanted to drop by and thank you guys for proving that January isn't all bad for movies. There's some gems here and there. Yeah, there's some here and there. There's some gems everywhere. I do not like my green eggs and ham. I do not like them semi-ham. Sorry. Dr. Seuss came out a little bit. And Jamie is also celebrating 2 months. So, man, we're just having all kinds of celebrations. Meet me at the bar after this stream, and I will buy you all some shots. So, or you could come to my house because I pretty much got a whole refrigerator. My dad, for a joke, got me this whole tub of Fireball shots. And it came with like 12 to 14 of the mini bottle Fireball shots.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I might be drinking some tonight if things go well. So, ooh, actually, I do want to address this real quick. I know we're going all over the place. I promise we are going to fully get back on track because there's more movies to talk about. Blu-ray says, what do you think about Letterboxd adding TV series later this year? Fucking finally. That's the best word I can use for it. So what are your thoughts about that?
I agree because I'm the kind of person, if I'm watching something, I want to log like everything. And there was some of Mike Flanagan stuff is on there. Like Midnight Mass is on there. The Fall of the House of Usher, Hill House. And, yeah. And like, those are like shows or series. You know, it's one season, but they do have some of those, which I like. But I'm glad they are, because like I want to log everything that I'm watching just to keep track with it. So I like that they're doing it. I wish it was the beginning of this year. It kind of sucks that it's later, because I'm like, okay, so 2025 we'll actually like get a full year of like logging everything. So I wish, that's my only thing, I wish it was the beginning of the year,
Right.
but you know, I'm happy we're getting it nonetheless. So I'm excited.
Sorry. So, like that's the part of the thing too. It's like Letterboxd helps us find movies that we normally don't know of, or like this. Like if we're just uncertain about a movie, we go Letterboxd and we check the scores and everything. That's pretty much going to be the same way with TV shows now. If you see them on Letterboxd, you'll find some hidden TV shows. Like, yeah, you know, we should check it out. Sorry, Halston. Sorry, I always got to throw in Halston in there because I'm pretty sure that's not on Letterboxd and more people need to watch it. So again, thank you, Destiny, for sharing my top 5 shows of all time that needs Morphin 2 seasons. And then what else? Stranger Things needs to be on there. A certain other TV show we'll talk about later, it needs to be on there. So many more if I need to. So I'm looking forward to this. So I'm glad you brought that up, Blu-ray. So, all right. So that was it for Tremors 4 from 2004. Anything else from 2004?
I do have one movie, Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed, which I have seen and I enjoy. Not more than the first one. The first one's still the best. But this one is still a good sequel. It focuses more on Bridget, which is the second sister, not Ginger. But it focused more on her. And yeah, I think it's a good movie, a good sequel.
Nice. And I did like the original, so I definitely need to check out the second one for sure. Gavin says they need to put True Detective Season 1 on there so I can... This note to self, I should read before posting it. Oh, shit. Gavin,
That's great,
I'm
Gavin.
out. 5 minutes. Starting now. I'm out. Ginger Snaps 2 is solid, really good. So so I'm definitely adding that to my list. Thank you guys, and thank you, Destiny, for bringing it up. As Rosie calls the porn version of his Sugar Snaps. So, all right, let's go to 2009. There are a couple of movies, so I'll just mention 3 at a time, and whatever you want to talk about, go for it. So the first one here, I got to delete some of these because I've just been having so much fun talking. I forgot to delete these as we're going along, so cleaning up would be easier later. So here we go. The first movie is Unborn from 2009. And the next movie here, a lot of people are going to know this movie all too well, but they saved it for February. It's My Valentine 3D. Weirdly enough, released on January the 16th instead of February. So I was kind of intrigued on the release date on that one. And then another one here, and we'll get to the other 3 here in a little bit. Vacancy 2. I think it's pretty sure from what I read, it's the prequel to the first Vacancy movie. Kind of like how everything begins before Vacancy happens. So Destiny, any one of those you want to talk about first?
I haven't seen Vacancy 2, so I don't have anything to say about that, but I do enjoy the first one. And The Unborn, I watched that one a lot as a kid, but I have not seen it since, and I don't remember. I remember a little bit of it, and I know the guy also from Twilight and the roommate, he's in it. I do remember that. And I remember parts of it, but I don't remember the movie as a whole. My Bloody Valentine, I don't even know if I've ever actually fully seen the remake. Not gonna lie. I've tried to start it before, but I couldn't watch it because it was like literally 3D and it was like my box TV, and so I could not like physically watch it. It was like hurting my eyes. So I would like to. I know Brady and I want to watch it for Fear Freaks, so I'm kind of like saving.
I was about to suggest that to you. So that would be a fun Fear Freaks watch party.
And I already know. I've seen a kill count, and so like I know the movie, but I just haven't seen it. But I do remember like the trailer for it, like whenever I was a kid, like I remember being, 2009 and seeing the trailer and seeing all the artwork for it and all like the posters, and like I remember it being like big because it was everywhere whenever I was a kid. So like I remember the hype for it, but obviously I didn't see it in theaters because I was probably like 10, 11 when it came out. So I was not in the theaters for it. And I've seen pieces of it. I've seen like parts of it on TV before, but I haven't watched it from start to finish. So, but I'm going to watch it next month.
Oh yeah, definitely watch it next month. And again, that would be a great episode for you and Brayden to react to that movie because, especially with the 3D effects, because I think they did not age well. But I still had a good time with it. Yeah, and Ben of course mentions 3D news scene, so there's always that. But I definitely like the original more than the remake for My Bloody Valentine for me personally. But I still have a good time with the remake because it actually still tries to actually be the remake to the original and respect the original. If you do that, I'm going to give your remake a watch. It's just when you try to do the 2019 Black Christmas effect, fuck you forever on that. So any movie that tries to do it like that, I am not going to be a fan of it. And then Unborn for me, I actually watched it for the first time last year in October, just randomly at work. I was that bored at work and I just wanted to watch something. And I just sat at my desk for 2 hours and watched Unborn. And it was okay. Like, it tries hard and I appreciate a movie at least trying. But yeah, it just got way too chaotic at the end for me of like bad CGI. It's just some of the story. It's just like, okay, maybe if they just worked on the script more, it could have been better. So I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it. It's just, again, somewhere along the middle. Maybe I gave it a 2, perhaps. So if it's like in the 2, it's like I didn't like it, but I also didn't hate it. So, and I respect it for at least trying. That's the best compliment I can say about the Unborn. Anything else you want to mention about those 3?
Nope.
Awesome. And the other 3 I got here, the one being the Underworld, part of the Underworld franchise. Underworld Rise of the Lycans. This is kind of like a prequel, another prequel to the original. And then this one, I remember MC, Miss Carter, always talks about this movie, and we finally get a chance to at least discuss a little bit of it. It's Gutterballs, and I just love the poster art for this one. That's why this one just intrigues me. And they had another one too, making fun of Maniac from the 80s with their poster concept. I meant to put a picture up, I just forgot to do that, so shame on me. And then the other movie, I think this one's an underrated movie with an underrated twist, and that's The Uninvited. I remember enjoying this movie, and I want to give it a rewatch of this movie because I just want to experience that twist all over again. So Desi, what about you? Any of those 3 you want to talk about?
I don't know what the fuck Gutterballs is. I don't have anything to say about that one.
All right, and that's just the only reason I remember is because Miss Carter always like recommends it to people. So hey, check out Gutterballs.
And then I haven't seen any of the Underworld movies. So I don't have anything to say about that one either.
Yeah, because that's just all That's all action. It's just underrated within the franchise, but that's it.
Okay, well, I've seen The Uninvited, and I actually saw that one in theaters with my mom. One of the rare movies that we saw in like theaters.
Oh, nice.
But saw The Uninvited. I do, and I've seen it maybe like once or 2 more times like since theaters, but it was a while ago. But I still remember the movie. I still remember like a lot of the main scenes. I remember the twist, and like whenever I watched it as a kid, I didn't know that it was like an American remake, basically, of, Jamie just mentioned it. It's A Tale of Two Sisters. And I haven't seen that, but I have heard of a podcast episode about it. So it is a little bit different, but it's still the same, but it's different. Like what happens is different, but it's still the same concept, But I really enjoyed it as a kid. Also, I loved a series of Unfortunate Events, and it had the main girl in that as well, and I loved her in that. And so I was super excited to see her in this horror movie. And I thought she was great in it. So I do like this one a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do too. And like the older sister in that movie, I can't remember her name right off the bat, but I do remember her being in one of the spin-off American Pie movies. I believe it's like Steve Stifler's little brother going to band camp, and she was the band director. So that's why I noticed her in, and I think she did a good job in this movie. And oh my gosh, what's the main blonde chick's name who directed Cocaine Bear last year?
Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, Elizabeth Banks, yes, and she is in this movie as well. And I felt like one of the rare times that she does a good job doing what she was asked to do and making it her own. So I thought she did a good job there. So Uninvited, definitely underrated, and I would actually put this in my recommendation as like give this one a watch, because it's just you're there for the twist alone with what the twist is. And for what you said about the Tale of Two Sisters, I've seen that name before from like the Scariest Scenes of All Time, that special they did on Shudder, and this movie got included with one of its scares. So, someone mentioned too that you should at least give the first Underworld a watch because of Kate Beckinsale. So there you go. So that's enough reason to give it a watch. But I know you like sometimes you say action movies don't do it for you, and trust me, this is more action than horror. It's like action, but it has like vampires and werewolves in it.
Yeah, there's kind of like an era of movies in the 2000s that I almost have no interest in kind of watching, just because like the stylizing just isn't. I don't know. Like this, Blade, I know people love it, but like I'm just like, I have no interest. Same thing with like Silent Hill. There's like a bunch of these movies that all kind of are like so close together in time that I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for that, because I'm kind of the same way, because I still have yet to watch any of the Resident Evil movies, except for the newer one that came out in 2021, I believe. I think that's when that came out, or 22. And I just felt like, this is just bleh. So I'm kind of like on the same ballpark of you. It's like, I really don't want my horror movies to be mixed in with action, because we tried to do that last year with The Pope's Exorcist, and it did not work. Brad's still pissed off that they put Russell Crowe on a moped. Like,
that movie was awful.
It was so bad. Like I think Brad put that. I put that as like my number one most hated. Or no, sorry, Brad put that as his number one most hated movie of last year.
I don't know. I still think Pet Sematary Bloodlines was worse.
That was my number two.
At least like The Pope's Exorcist had a little bit of fun and had like a little bit of like stylization with like the apes, and like the music was at least good. Pet Sematary Bloodlines had nothing. I was like, oh my god, this is the worst thing I've ever seen, I think. That movie was awful.
Yeah, it was not good. It was my number two most hated, but my number one most hated was Captive with Scout Taylor Compton. And my number five, you actually watched it the other day. I was like, oh no, I should have warned you. It was the Bury the Bride.
Bury the Bride, yeah.
I
only watched
it. I wish I would have warned you about that, because it was just not good.
I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't even finish it. I skipped about 30 minutes. I watched the end. I said, okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
But I watched at least an hour of it in total.
Well, skip the effort. Scout Taylor wound up Captive. So I'll just let you know, just skip it. It's just no.
I was just like, I know it's gonna be bad, but a bachelorette party, like I love weddings, I love shit like that. I was like, sure, I know it's not gonna be good, but
if then once you saw where they actually had the party,
yeah, I was just like, oh my god, it just is
not realistic.
Yeah. No, not good.
So, fuck that. So, all right. Anything else from 2009 that you had on your list?
Nope, that was it.
Excellent. And so let's go ahead and go to 2014. I'm just going to mention these three movies because there's pretty much only one to really talk about. I'll save that one for last. So I'll go from bottom to top. The first one being Frankenstein. Speaking of mixing action with horror, this is the prime example of how not to do it. You can tell from those scores right there. Not good, and I feel bad for this movie because the main guy in this movie who plays Harvey Dent in The Dark Knight is in this movie, and I just feel bad for him because all this is just bad. And this is made based off going off the trailers. And from the scores right there, my assumption of reason of not watching this movie was correct. So that is Frankenstein. The next one being, this is a kind of a weird one. I didn't believe it was horror at first. This is Knights of Badassdom. But I looked at the director, and the director is actually Joe Lynch. So it is, for some reason, horror related. So I just added on there because I know, Desi, you like Joe Lynch. So I just added on there. So I'm not sure what you will feel about that one. And then the one we'll actually talk about, a hidden gem in Paranormal Activity. That is Paranormal Activity, the marked ones. That was released on January the 3rd of 2014. And you can check out the franchise right now on Max. So, Destiny, anything you want to say about the previous two before we talk about this one?
I don't know those. I don't care to watch the first two you mentioned, honestly.
Hey, same here, but I just figured they're worth mentioning. So.
Even though the night one, Peter Dinklage, he was on the cover. I can never remember his name, but it looks like, yes, thank you, Steve Zahn. I am such a fan of him. He is so funny. He's in Joyride. I know he's in like a lot of movies, but I love him in the few episodes he's in Modern Family. He's wonderful. So I really like him a lot. So if I were to watch one of those two, it would be that one just because of the cast and Joe Lynch. But who said it? Blu-ray said Joe Lynch disowns this film because of studio interference. So I'm still not going to watch it. But if I had to choose, it would be that one, just cast and just names alone. But Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, I love that movie. That is my favorite Paranormal Activity movie. Just because to me, it's the most interesting. It's the most like fun, like actual fun characters. It's much more like fast paced. And I won't say the ending just in case, but the ending is so fucking good. I remember watching this for the first time and I was just like, no fucking way. And also, this movie made me throw up. It's one of the only few movies, and it's he's pulling that black stuff out of his eye. I had just eaten dinner. And I was watching it, and I just said, and then I threw up. But I think this movie's great. It's wonderful. And the marked ones is the fifth one, Aaron. The sixth one is a ghost mention, and it is the worst out of the movies. It's bad. But I still watch it because I love Paranormal Activity. And I'll even watch the bad ones. Which to me, the sixth one really is the only like bad one. Yes. The fourth one isn't the best. It's kind of it's just the same thing over and over again, you know. But I still have a fun time with them, so I love them. But the marked ones is definitely my favorite out of the six or seven, actually, because of Next of Kin.
Yeah, Next of Kin, that one was just okay. It's just a weird environment they wanted to put us in. And I just feel like it's just not a place for a Paranormal Activity movie.
I liked it. There was actually one, because this is the only reason why I even have Paramount Plus, is because it was on there. I wanted to watch it. I never canceled my Paramount Plus because then I was like, oh, they actually have they have a lot of the Scream movies usually, and the newer ones. And so I got Paramount Plus for Next of Kin, and I liked it. I thought it was tied enough. It's kind of like Wrong Turn, like the new one. Like at the core base, it's still the same. It's like familial issues. There's a demon. Family's hiding shit. You're uncovering the truth. And that is the same for Paranormal Activity, the first one and the second one. And, you know, the more we get the sequels, the more we find out about their family and all this shit that was hidden. And so, like, the new one is still that at its core. It's still the same thing. But I like the snowy setting. I thought it was interesting. Being in the Amish community, we don't really see that too often. And so that was kind of cool. So the girl that's filming is not Amish, but she's finding out about her family that is. And so she's filming because she's not.
So if she's figuring out a family that's the thing I kind of got weird with this, or kind of confused with the story. She's not Amish, but she's studying about her family that is Amish. So how is she not Amish?
Because she's not Amish, because she didn't live there. It's not like
but her family ties were Amish.
What? An Amish person can leave And then they're not Amish. They're like former Amish, but they're no longer Amish because it's not like, it's more of like a way of living. It's not like, you know.
Oh,
it's
shit.
not like,
Yeah. Light bulb. Sorry, I'm an idiot. That light bulb moment, you just said it. I thought like Amish is like an actual like I didn't know if like is Amish like a cult like
I
kind of
mean,
thing, or?
like, I would say like at the core, like Amish isn't, I wouldn't say they're a cult. Like they're really,
Okay, that's the proper word I'm trying to use.
yeah,
Is race.
no.
Okay, I'm an idiot.
I wouldn't say they're a cult. It's like a way of living, and like it's definitely very different and like strange. But I mean, unless there is like, I know there's like the show like Leaving Amish and stuff, and I never really watched that. But there is like stuff that goes on, I'm sure, like with anything that is not good. But I wouldn't just be like, oh, cult. You know, like I would say like Scientology, that's a cult, but that's different. That's like a religion. But yeah, it's just, yeah, it's a way of living.
All right, there we go.
Never do it.
So I'm gonna delete all my stupidity on this. So so I'm just, again, guys, 6 hours of sleep. Just leave me alone. But no, I guess like I didn't mind that part of the movie. It's just everything else is just like, I just kind of like miss the house, miss it with like a family being in there and being haunted by Toby. And Toby is not really in this movie. So that's just what kind of disappointed me with this one. It's just of how different it is. But you are right. It still does have some of the blueprint materials of making a Paranormal Activity movie.
Yeah.
So, oh, and Cass Taylor, what's going on, my friend? Just mentioning he loved the Pumpkin comic books. I didn't know they made a comic book. So hell yeah. Let's see here. I don't think we had any ever. Wait, do I have a? No, those are all there. Oh, Zodiac C, I just wanted to bring this up. He said the mocked ones, is as they say in Boston. That's funny. So let's see here. Oh, and churning the butter. So Desi, do you have anything else from 2014?
I do have two movies. One is like technically, we could also talk about next month technically, because this was a Sundance premiere, and it's What We Do in the Shadows, which the movie, not the show, which I've only seen once, and I did have fun with it. I didn't like it as much as everyone else, but the characters are a lot of fun, and you really do like these vampires and just like their way of living. So that one's fun. And then another one I saw in theaters, wasn't very good. Devil's Due. A newly married couple, she gets pregnant with the son of Satan, possibly. Oh. And I do remember there's one scene that was actually really like freaky, and it's like, because it's like a found footage type movie. Like they're recording, and like her like belly, you see it like rippling because of like what's inside. So that part stuck with me. But the movie itself was not very good. But I did see it in theaters.
That's what Zodiac says right here. Devil's Due was awful. And that's what I heard too. So that's why I kind of just put it on me. I'll just take my time. I'll get to it when I get to it. So let's see. Let's see here. Devil's Due is by the Scream 6 guys. Yes, by Radio Silence. It's one of their earlier movies. So I'm not going to fault them for that. So
yeah, not very good. They definitely gotten better since then. But yeah.
Yeah, there we go. And Devil's Due on Blu-ray at the Dollar General for $1. No wonder. Yeah, if a Blu-ray's for $1, that is all you need to know about the movie. And I forgot to mention this real quick. I want to get to it about the marked ones. The director is Christopher Landon. I just wanted to mention that as well, of why I like the movie as well, because Christopher Landon, I like him as a director because he definitely knows how to scare people. So I just want to give him full credit on that before we moved on.
Yeah, this one, yeah, it has some pretty good scares. Like I said, the ending is so good. And it's just a nice change of pace for a Paranormal Activity movie because it's not the same over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because again, there's a time in a franchise where you have to go different. The marked ones definitely did that. So, easily recommend the dark or the marked ones. I was about to say the dark ones, but they're pretty much dark ones, but they're the marked ones. So let's go ahead and go to 2009 Destiny, and this is the one I had you watch. Because again, if you're new to the show, there is if there's a movie that one of us has not seen, we make the other one watch it. And Destiny, I'm pretty sure I had you last year watch the movie Escape Room 2, as I think I did. Oh, hey, balloons. I can't remember. Was that? I think, or wait a minute, I don't think. I think I did recommend it. I think you said you wanted to watch the first one before you watched the second one. So hey, you watched the first one. Now you get to do the second one. So that's the movie I selected. It's 2019's Escape Room, and for its time, I think this movie was a very good idea to do a horror movie in. We talked about earlier for unique settings to do horror movies. This one was definitely a unique setting to do it. Because again, like during that time too, escape rooms were a very fun thing to do with a group of friends. Because trust me and Brad have done like 6 or 7 of them, and we are 7 for 7 on escape rooms. So we decided to end our streak there. So it can never be broken. 7 for 7, perfect record. But this movie, the best word I could use this one was just fun for me. It wasn't great, but I had a good time with it. I like the characters. Definitely the blonde girl in this movie. She is known for playing the one of the main characters in the Marvel show Daredevil. That's where she got a lot of her popularity from. And the main girl, I liked her. I liked her better in the second movie versus this one. But this one, I still had a lot of fun with, and I think you should give it a watch. So, Destiny, what about you? What were your first thoughts about Escape Room, and will you be interested to checking out the second one now?
Well, the movie started, and it was doing a lot of the things where the person's talking, but their mouth is not moving. And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck, dude? And that's in the very opening. And I was just like, okay, this is not a strong start. And I don't like when movies start like that. Like, it's very rare that I actually enjoy how there's sort of a wraparound. But this isn't like a full wraparound, because that's like before like the third act starts. You're placed back there. But I was like, okay, whatever. Then we got sort of like into the actual rooms, and I was like, oh my God, that's actually pretty scary. That's pretty crazy. So with each like escape room, I did enjoy. And you're putting together how like everything is kind of like geared towards this person. Like it's set up for, you know, in a way for a reason for these characters.
Pretty much a Saw trap.
Yeah, I mean, people are calling it like light Saw, and it very much like is, I would say. It reminds me a lot of like the fifth one mainly, just because like that's the one where they're all having to like work together. Like that was the whole point, was just them working together, and that's like the same thing here. They have to like work together, but there can only be like one. Like that's the whole point of the game. But I enjoyed it until the end. I said, what is this? The ending, like I was like, okay, 3.5 movie, you know, like wasn't anything too great, but it wasn't bad. I really enjoyed it. Then the ending happened, and that bumped it to a 3 out of 5, because I thought the ending was absolutely so stupid. And I heard mixed things about the second one, and so like I'm still not like that big of a rush in like to watching it, but I will at some point. But like I'm not gonna watch it like right now. But I do like the main girl. I haven't seen Bones and All, but that's a movie I want to watch soon. She's in it. She's also currently dating Harry Styles. So that's pretty crazy. Pretty cool. My worlds are colliding. So I really like her. I'm a huge fan of her, and I thought she was good in this movie. I like the two girls a lot. They're my favorite parts. They're really, a lot of the characters were like, I was so rooting for them, you know. And I was actually sad when they started to kind of like drop off one by one, because I did like the characters for the most part. So it has its flaws. It has its really good moments, really intense moments. The upside down room was my favorite, because that's just fucking crazy. I was like, no way, man. There's no way. And then it just keeps getting worse and worse for the characters. So yeah, there's some really good moments, and there's just some moments that really, I just feel like they didn't know what they were doing towards the end.
Right.
It just wasn't that strong. But yeah, the start was really good, I would say. Well, not the very start. The middle half, or like the middle part, I thought was really, really good. It's just everything else. I was like, oh man, this could have been so much better.
Yeah, like it definitely could have, and like to explain the third act, they were pretty much like just very cheaply were setting up for the second one.
Yeah.
Which I'll let you know the second one. It's pretty much what it is in the sequel, like Blueprint. It's just more of everything of the first one, but times 2. So the rooms are more outrageous. So just to let you be aware of what you're going to walk into with the second one in the future. So yeah, I agree. No rush. And the last question before we get into the final year. Have you done an escape room before, like the real one, or do you ever plan on doing one?
No, haven't. Do I plan on it? Maybe. I'd like to do like a horror one, but I don't know. Like those just really aren't my thing. Like I've never been like, oh, I should really go to an escape room. Like I don't know. I don't care about that. I'd rather do like a haunted house than like an escape room. I'd rather just walk through like a house.
Oh, okay.
Than try to get out, because I'll panic. I'll start to freak out. I have anxiety. I just don't think I could actually like have fun doing that, even though like I know it's not real. But now I'm gonna be thinking of like this movie or something. Yeah,
So
like the small escape room in Las Vegas. I would do that. Like that's cool. If it's a horror based one, I would do those just because it's horror. Just like a regular.
Figure out if it's a real Saw game.
Yeah, I'll let y'all know how it goes.
But no, because here, let me describe how my first escape room went. I was blindfolded, and I was handcuffed to a bed. So I bet that would freak you out immediately.
Yeah, no. See, I don't want it to be all that. Like they're talking about like how interactive this one is. Like I don't want it super interactive. Like no, I'm just gonna start crying.
Yeah, and Jamie is like you as well. Saw escape room in Las Vegas. Next time I go there, I'm doing it. Yeah, and that's on my bucket list as well. Oh my, Brett, that's a fraud. God, you all are dirty in the chat. What the hell? Oh my gosh, Rosie. Brett, God, fuck that in an escape room. Shh. I trusted you with that information. And you was blindfolded and handcuffed to a bed with no women involved, Brett. Yeah, unfortunately, all my teammates were dudes, so that was not a very comfortable situation to be in. But we got out of it, and then we got to play the game and everything, and it was fun. And Gory Tiger, what's going on, my friend? How are you doing? Join us for the last year. Unless of Destiny, do you have anything else from 2019?
Yeah, hold on. Let me make sure before and double check.
You are all good. Alex, just continue talking with the chat. You guys are a bunch of freaks. I love it. Yes, we are, Jamie, and we're proud of it. So yeah, go ahead, Destiny.
So the first one I have is The Lodge.
Oh shit, how did I forget that one?
Yeah, okay, that's the one I was making sure. So The Lodge, January 25th. This movie is crazy. Unfortunately, that mother effer that was in Killer Flicks that spoiled it, which he was booted after he did that. Because this was like, because I think I remember like the movie came out and then, so this was probably like 2020. So it was still fresh. Like it's still like a new movie. And someone spoiled something and I was just like, what the fuck? And I remember like waking up. That was like the first post I saw on Facebook. I literally closed my phone and I went back to bed and I was like trying to like forget. And so I held off on watching it because I was like, maybe I'll forget. I never forgot the thing.
Was it the beginning or was it the end?
The beginning. So luckily it wasn't the end, but still, it was like a shocking moment that was taken away from me because someone just fucking spoiled a movie that hadn't been out for that long. But I watched it. I really enjoyed it. Yes, it is very depressing. So it's not one that I'm going to sit there and like go back to often. But it is one that I've been wanting to like rewatch a little bit. But I wanted it to be like cold, like really cold whenever I watch it to like set myself in the atmosphere. Hasn't been that cold yet. But the ending is just, it's upsetting. The whole movie is like upsetting. And I kind of did know of like the end as well. So unfortunately, I had information of like the movie. And this time, I didn't even spoil it for myself. It's only fine if I do it for myself. This time I did not. I did try to steer clear of stuff for this movie before I watched it. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think I gave it like 4 out of 5 stars, maybe even 4.5. I think 4.
Mm-hmm.
Very well acted all around. And the dad in it is just awful. He's terrible.
Terrible parenting 101.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the large vote, yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I just thought it was really good, and I'm sorry that beginning part got spoiled because it wasn't as impactful as the last act of the movie. Because I was kind of like, oh, we kind of went this way, and then I'm like, yes, we went this way. Like, fuck them, and definitely recommend The Lodge. Let's see here. Was that it for 2019?
I have 2 more. One I haven't
go ahead.
seen.
I'm sorry.
This one is also like a Sundance premiere, and then it was like on Netflix like February 1st, so it happened like back to back when it was like shown. Velvet Buzzsaw has Jake Gyllenhaal. Also, I believe it has Natalia Dyer from Stranger Things. She has like a smaller part in it. Haven't seen it. I've heard mixed things, so maybe I'll watch it at some point. The other one I have seen, and this was released on streaming, and it's Little Monsters. It stars Lupita Nyong'o, and it's like not a vampire, it's a zombie movie. And she's like a school teacher. And so it has to do with like them trying to protect the kids from these zombies. And it's actually it's like a lighthearted, feel good, like kind of movie. But it does have like some really like sweet moments in it. So I really enjoyed it. It's cute. It's a cute little movie.
Was the poster of it yellow?
Yeah, it's like she's wearing like a yellow dress.
Yes, because I remember you talking about that when you first watched it.
Oh my god, she looks stunning in this yellow dress. Like it's just like she's like a school teacher, so it's just like a cute little yellow dress, but she looks beautiful. Yeah, not Little Monsters with Howie Mandel. That is a different one. That's one I tried to watch, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I do own it. I couldn't with that movie though, but the other Little Monsters is really good.
Awesome. I'm definitely going to add both of them, especially the Velvet one, because I do remember you talking about that one. And I remember that just being memorized, like, ooh, this poster looks good. If a poster looks good, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
And plus with the actress herself, I'm not ever going to begin to pronounce her name because that would just be a whole big, it'll destroy everybody's brain of my mispronunciation of her name. But she's terrific. I love her as an actress. So, all right. So let's go ahead and go to the final year here. There's a couple of movies we need to talk about. And as we said before, or at the beginning of this stream, that we will celebrate movies that came out last year because they deserve to be talked about. And I'll save pretty much the big one for last. Or I will say the big 2 for last for this month. Really big 3. So let's go ahead and knock some ones out real quick here. The first one, let's just make it a category of its own, and I'll combine some. And that is In Search of Darkness Part 3. It really came out earlier than that, but it mainly came out available to everybody January 25th of 23 on Shudder. And I thought, in my opinion, this was the weakest one of the 3. And it's not this one's fault for it being part 3. It's just when you get to part 3, you talked about already the big ones. We're really diving inside the bottom of the barrel, trying to find the remaining movies to talk about. And they're interesting, but I kind of lost interest real quick with it because I thought the other 2 were just so much better. But I will say I love the In Search of Darkness series, and I'm so looking forward what they're going to do when they go into the 90s from 90 to 94, which comes out this year. So I'm very excited for that, highly anticipated for that. So Destiny, what about you? What do you think about Part 3, and are you excited as well for 90 to 94 that will come out this year?
Yeah, so I actually just watched this yesterday, fully.
Oh, nice.
Because last January, I was trying to watch it when I first moved into my mom's, literally that first week. And I would just kind of watch it while I was going to bed. And so, I was never fully, paying attention because I would fall asleep the next night, rewind a little bit, and I never finished it. And so yesterday, I was just I don't know what movie to watch. And I was looking at the documentaries on Shudder, And I was like, I haven't fully like actually watched it. And I didn't mean to watch it all yesterday. I didn't think I was going to actually be able to. And then I stayed up and I finished it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll be up till 1 because I still have like 30 minutes left. 5 minutes played and it was over. Because I always forget with these. There's like 25 minutes of credits because there's a lot of names to include for people that put money into it. And I was like, oh, shit, it's over. I was like, I guess I can go to bed now because it was just like, boom, done. And I do feel like the ending, usually I feel like the endings are a little bit more like, at the end of them, I'm like, wow, I can do anything. Like, I don't know. It always feels so
like empowering.
Yeah. And like with this one, I felt like it happened very quick. Like, I feel like it didn't hit enough. And especially it being the last one of the 80s. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I wish there was like a little bit more towards the end. Because like the other two, I remember just being like, oh my God, like literally, I can do anything. This is crazy. But as a whole, I love them. So interesting. So many movies. They are so good to do when you're just doing chores. Because that's what I was kind of doing. I was kind of picking up my room a little bit, cleaning up, like taking like Christmas stuff down and stuff like that. And so I had it on while I was like doing things. And then I sat down. I watched like 3 hours of it just straight. But yeah. I think they're great. They're so informative, so many movies that I'd watch because of these. And I'm very excited for the 90s. I wish they would have done the 70s before the 90s.
Right.
Because like they started with the 80s. And I hope they at least do like 70s and like even the 60s and really almost all of them. I would like to see just more. Like,
I need the 2000s.
Yes. And I didn't like put money in for the 90s one. I really thought about it. So hopefully they're all on Shudder when they're done because I did not get it. But I'm very excited for it nonetheless.
I'm surprised you haven't bought part 3 just because if you got one of the perks, you could have gotten an Elvira cover.
See, I don't remember seeing that. Don't tell me that.
I'm sorry. And, let's say I should have made the poster right there just to see what you thought of it. But as you talk about one of our next movies, I'll load it because I'm a bad influence of a friend. So, but Aaron Click bought the 3-pack. I bet you that cost a whopping friggin' money.
I do have the first 2 because I missed out on the first round because I started watching Dead Meat like right when that closed. And so like I was too late to see it because I didn't even know about it. So I missed the first one, but with the second one, I ordered like the first one because it was like $15 extra and you can get like the original, not like a special cover, but I was like, okay, cool. And then the third one came around and I remember being like, if you're going to get this, you need to do it on like before Halloween because that was the last day for like the 90s one and I just never did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember doing the Valentine special of all the freaking specials to do. I got the Valentine Day special where I got the first and the second one for $80. And I'm with Aaron Click. It's so worth it. I just need to try and find a way to get the third one so I can have my completions complete. Because if I was doing a collection, I need to complete it. So I'm just waiting for the price to go down and just an opportunity to buy one. But I definitely am excited for the 90s. Have you addressed that? Or are you ready for the 90s? Because I know you say you wanted to do 70s, but 90s?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice. So let me see if I forgot anything. Oh, and I wanted to address Raymond right here saying the 6 hours thing. Yes, it is 6 hours. But what I love about this documentary series is just they do it in chapters. So after a chapter is done, you can legitimately, like, that's the best place to pause, do something, and then you could come right back into it without like knowing like where to go next. And I will say, like, you could just split it up like into 6 days, 1 hour each.
Yeah. You can definitely split it up. That's what I had to do for the Friday 13th one, was split that one up between a couple of days.
Except for me, because I watched it all in 7 hours and I did not get up from my couch one time, not even for a bathroom break. Like, because I love that documentary so much. I was just so invested. I'm like, yeah, I'm not moving.
I do want to rewatch that.
It's so good because I know, like, again, it makes sense because you're watching the Friday movies right now, so it would be cool to go watch it again.
Yeah, because again, those like putting on. I did it the other day at work because like we were so slow at work. I was bored. And I was like, I should just watch a Friday 13th. Like it's so easy. And then I was doing it while cleaning yesterday as well. Like the beginning of the day, I watched the second and third one just because they're easy to watch while you're doing stuff. So, and they're so short. That's what I appreciate about the first like few ones. They are so short. So they're just like 80 minutes. Yeah, I will watch that.
Yeah.
Fast forward the first 5 minutes of the second one. You don't need all that. You're good. That's like you got like a 75-minute movie and you're done.
Yeah, like definitely. And plus it's just what they do with those 75 to 80 minutes. It's just awesome too. So it's not like it's just quick just to be quick, but it's quick because it's impactful and you're invested.
Yeah, it's just right to the point, going, love it. The third one's definitely a little bit slower, but I still love it. So yeah, I know. I need to continue because I want to watch all of them now. Since I'm going through them, I might as well.
Hey, might as well. And Hollywood, best word to use. Just get to the fucking point with your movies versus being 2.5 hours now. Just get to the point.
See, there's like some movies like Oppenheimer, 3 hours. I'm there. And I was there.
That's
loved
different.
it. But then there's some movies I'm just like, oh man. And like, I don't want to sound, like a young person complaining about, But I'm like,
you are not the only person on this planet, Destiny. I'll let you know you're not the only person on this planet.
Because like it is true. I know we talked about it before, like TikTok has like really hurt the way I've watched movies because like I'm used to quick and there's times where I'm skipping TikTok so I'm like, you're not fast enough. And that's like a 3-minute video, And so I'm trying to limit my TikTok, even though I love it. But I'm trying to get off of TikTok as much and I'm trying to watch more movies, which I've done. I've watched like 13 or now 14, including that documentary. 14 movies / documentaries this year so far. So I'm doing good. I'm trying to stay on this track though. I feel like I'm going to lose it at some point.
No, you're going to do it. You got people behind you. We will keep making you push. It's just in the coming weeks, that's going to be the challenge.
I know. I have to download movies or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but you'll get it done, Bo. So, let's see here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss a chat. So, perfect. So, let's go ahead and move on with these. I would say 3 gems right here, and we'll combine everything else to the last thing. So, the first one I will bring up is from January 17th of 2023. One that was kind of under the radar, and it just got the release day. It's There's Something Wrong with the Children. It's on Amazon Prime Video right now if you're curious about it. The next one is Sick. That was released on Peacock on January 13th of 2023. And Desi, remind me, Kevin Williamson is the director of this, correct?
I don't think he directed it, but he did write it.
Or is he the producer?
I think he produced and he wrote it.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure, but because I was like, no, director didn't sound right. But yes, if you're a fan of the Scream franchise or Kevin Williamson, he is majorly involved in this movie. So this is Sick on Peacock. And then this one, Destiny had me watch this one for the movie she wanted me to watch. And that is The Pale Blue Eye. It's on Netflix. That came out on January the 6th of 2023. And I'll talk about this movie real quick, and because the others I really don't have much to say. Like Sick was just good, and then Wrong Children, not really interested in it, so I'm just going to skip that one until somebody tells me I don't need to skip it. But The Pale Blue Eye. Yeah, first off, I like the setting of this movie, and everybody keeps mentioning one word with this movie, and that's cinematography. And I was like, I wonder what this cinematography business is all about. And I watched it. It's set in 1830s, like just back in the olden times. And the cinematography looks absolutely beautiful in this movie. That's my highest positive of this movie. And then, of course, Christian Bale. Anything Christian Bale does in any movie ever, I'm interested in. I enjoy his performance. So he did a great job being the detective. And all he's doing is just solving these particular murders. And he is trained as cadet to follow him, and that cadet turns out to be Edgar Allan Poe. So it's kind of like where Edgar Allan Poe gets this inspiration of how to write detective poems, and he kind of learned it from this detective. So it was a very fun movie. I definitely want to rewatch it again because I only watched it on sleep at 9 o'clock. That's when I started. I want to give it with a more clearer watch, but I did enjoy this movie a lot. So I do recommend The Pale Blue Eye to everyone that likes thriller, mystery, and does have horror aspects to it. That's why I got mentioned today. So Destiny, anything you want to mention about Wrong Children, Sick, and The Pale Blue Eye?
Well, the other one I've seen is Sick, which I thought it was okay. I gave it like 3.5 out of 5. So like I thought it was like better than just like fine. Like I remember the gore in it being actually really good and like kind of shocking because it just felt so like brutal with like every like stab that was done. And the story itself, it has to do with the virus and everything, and so like it felt very of the time. And it's not one that like I feel like I'll go back to very often, just because of like what it was, like what it's about, you know. It's about the pandemic and everything, and I don't really have like a draw to like watching those type of movies, but for it to come out like, you know, at the time that it did, it was very on brand, and it was fun. Like as just like a little slasher, I thought it was fun, but I don't think it was anything special. And people were like, "Oh, it's the next Scream." No, it's not. Don't say that, because it was not. It was not like it. No, what?
No.
I watched it. I was like,
pisses
okay.
me off. That pisses me off when people say it's the next Scream, because literally that's why I fucking hate Bodies, because they legitimately said that's the next era of Scream, and I had Scream expectations for the movie, and it failed for me. I know you're different and you liked the movie a lot, but for me, I was just so angry they compared it to Scream. It was nothing like it.
But even then, like, yeah, like that's still Bodies. It was nothing like Scream. Like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah, exactly. That's what pissed me off.
Quit saying that. They just think like anything that's like kind of like hip and like of the time. It's like next Scream. Like no, but Scream had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Bodies. It was making fun of people. Yeah, but like, you know, like I don't know. I'm like, this is not Scream level of anything. And like Scream was just, it's about the movies. None of these are like Scream. None of these are like, wow, this really reminds me of the movie Scream. No one's even talking about movies. What are y'all talking about? I don't get it. That does really bother me, because I'm like, y'all are just lying. You're just making shit up now. Anyways, what were the other two?
Something wrong with the children and The Pale Blue Eye.
I don't really have an interest in watching There's Something Wrong with the Children. I do like creepy kid movies. There's the movie The Children, which is like a 1980s movie. They were talking about it on the third part of In Search of Darkness. I haven't seen that, but I have seen The Children from like 2008 or 2009, something like that. And that one was really good. And I think it might be sort of a remake, but not exactly, because the first movie is like nuclear like gas, and then the remake, it's like this like sludgy like stuff. So it's kind of the same but like different. So I do like evil kid movies, but I just didn't hear great things about it. The Letterboxd reviews, I think it's at like a 2.5 or something, or like a 2. So it doesn't have great reviews. But the main guy, I do not know his name, unfortunately. But he is in Midnight Mass. He plays Riley in Midnight Mass. He's so good in that. He's in The Fall of the House of Usher. So he's like working with Mike Flanagan. And he's good. And same thing with Thomas Henry, I believe is his name, from Mike Flanagan's work as well. He was in Pet Sematary Bloodlines. And I'm like, dude, it's just like, oh, it sucks. Because like, you know, you are better than this, you know, like it makes you just want to be like, hey, don't just do anything. Like, you deserve good movies because you are a great actor. Like, he was in E.T. Don't be doing this, you know?
Don't
and
fuck
so I
with
could do the
E.T.
same for him. Like, he's such a good actor. I want him to keep doing like really good projects. So this one I think I might have to skip out on because it just doesn't look that great. And even the trailer, I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't know. But I would like to see him in some good stuff because I do really like him.
Nice. And and what about the Pale Blue Eye?
Haven't seen, but this isn't really like the era it's like set in. That's not usually my favorite. Like I don't like period pieces usually, but there are exceptions like The Witch. I love that, even though that is further back. And same thing with like Fear Street 1666. That's further back than this, but it's not necessarily like my favorite type of thing. But you're saying some good things. I know Chris is a fan. Christian Bale, I think he's a great actor. And you have me interested with Edgar Allan Poe. What a big year for Edgar Allan Poe, though, because he was in this in January, and then The Fall of the House of Usher. That's all Edgar Allan Poe stuff. So, wow. 2023, the year of Edgar Allan Poe. So, I am interested in watching it. I know the runtime is a little bit longer for that one as well, and I was like, motherfucker, dude, come on. But
2 hours.
I would sit down and watch that one, I think. Just being like the right headspace for it. Like kind of like how I was for Zodiac. I had to be in the right headspace to like watch Zodiac. Like put my phone aside, sit down and just like fully take in this movie. So I feel like it's kind of like the same thing.
No, absolutely. And I understand the period pieces because I'm kind of the same way. I would think this one would be an exception. Just like the next time you're just on Netflix looking for something, I would add this at least to the watch list. And then when you go for your watch list, you'd be like, oh, I remember that. So let's watch it. So that's why I suggest. All right. And then that's what I got for those three. So let's talk about our last three. I'm going to group them together. This one's pretty much a banger after a banger after a banger. So let's go ahead and go with the first one being the one that nobody had any idea this would be as big as it was. And that is Megan, released on January the 6th of 23. This is on Amazon Prime Video right now. I think they recently just took it off Peacock for some reason, but it is on Amazon if you for some reason have not seen it. And I just remember people like making fun of the doll and all that, which making fun of the doll, how bad it looks. And then when the trailer came out, everybody just had a completely different opinion about Megan the doll. And then the next one, this I know, Destiny, this is one of your favorite movies of the year, but not one of my favorite movies of the year, and that is Infinity Pool. That was released on January 27th of 2003. This is on Hulu right now if you want to watch it. And I don't get it. Like it's just this one of those movies. It's just not for me. Of course, the big positive I'm going to get for this movie is Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth, terrific actors, and they deserve a lot of praise. Anything they do is going to be a good time. But it's just this movie in particular. There's just some movies where I'm okay with it being weird. This one's not one of them, and it's just too far left field for me personally. And then the last one we'll talk about, this is big time TV show that came out last year. The Last of Us started in January 15th of 2023. I have not played the game, so I pretty much went into this show blind, and I love every ounce of this, and I am so looking forward to season 2, and I just love this so much. So, Destiny, which one do you want to tackle first?
I guess Megan. We can go in order.
All right, go ahead. What are your thoughts about the doll of Megan?
I thought Megan was fun in theaters. It's really not one that I care to go back to, though. I remember, like, we finally talked about it in Fear Freaks, and I had pushed it off because I just did not want to talk about it for some reason. And it's just because, like, I was like, I don't know what else to talk about with it. Like, I don't know. But it was a really fun theater watch. I just think that it serves the best time in theaters, watching with a group of people. I laughed a lot. Like, it was so much fun. But I just don't ever care to really watch it again. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. But, yeah. So, like, it was decent. I gave it 3.5. It was fun. But I just don't have any interest in, like, getting it, like, owning it. Like, I don't even care to because, like, I don't think I will really watch it that often. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a weird vibe with the movie for me.
Oh no, I understand that completely. It's just like at first when I first watched it, it was a 4. As the years move on and watched other movies, and I go back and reflect on Megan, I'm like, maybe it's not as good. It was just all hype at the beginning with the following, and I moved it to myself. Kind of like I moved it to 3.5 instead of the 4. So it was just a good movie, but kind of like you said, it's not really rewatchable. As Ashton said, not rewatchable. I kind of agree with that. Maybe every once in a while, but I'm not going to be like, oh, super excited to rewatch it. It was just good for what it was. The big one they say about this one is what Child's Play remake should have been.
Yeah, and I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, which we're going to change it when I make you rewatch it because it's so damn it. I tried. But all right. So what about let's do Infinity Pool because I know that is I believe you say was your favorite movie of last year.
Yes, it was. I loved Infinity Pool. And it's like one of the movies like that has not like left my mind since I've watched it. And I've seen it twice. I watched it the first time just by myself, like at home. And then the second time, Brayden hadn't seen it, so we watched it because I wanted to see his reaction because it's like, what the fuck? And it was fun to see his reaction. And again, like it has not left my mind. I thought it was so great. It's so weird. I wasn't a big fan of Possessor. So with this one, I was like, oh, like we'll see. But like I love Mia Goth. I thought she was great. Alexander Skarsgård, I thought he was great in it. So everyone does so well in their part. And the story it was just like with Possessor, the story just wasn't grasping me. I was just like, okay. But this, like I was fully invested in, and yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I loved it.
And Brad actually just mentioned the word also when we were doing like some of our top movies of 2024. You just or excuse me 2023, and you mentioned it right there. It's just you don't forget, like you still think about this movie. That's the exact words that Brad used, and I even made a joke. It's like, damn it, Destiny got to you before I could with this movie, because Brad loved Infinity Pool too.
There's so many scenes that I'm just like, yep, I remember that. And like I love the poster for it as well. The like cover for it is just so like sleek and just like I don't know, like I saw the poster and I was like, that looks fucking cool. Like I like the poster a lot for this movie. It's so well acted. The story is just insane. The ending is crazy. It's and it's just like, oh my god, that all right, that was that.
And there is one scene I would suggest to not do shrooms during. There's one particular scene. I think you remember which one.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Yeah, so just don't do it. And then the last show again, it's The Last of Us. Desi, what are your thoughts about The Last of Us?
So I only had seen the first 2 episodes, and I stopped watching it because I know the third episode is sad, very sad. So I stopped watching it because I was like, no, I don't want to watch it. And then the more that I find out about the show and the sort of like metaphors and like what it's supposed to be, the more my interest is like lost. I did want to watch it. I thought the house for it at
Halloween Horror
Nights. That's what it's called. I thought the house, that was my favorite house. It was so scary. Like that was so good. But the more with like recent stuff and like the more I find out about the show, I don't care to watch it anymore. Because I was like, oh, I was not aware of what all this kind of like stood for or like meant. Had no idea because I just knew it was based off of a video game. And so yeah, unfortunately, like I don't care. I don't care to watch it now. That's like ruined it for me. But the 2 episodes I did see, I did very much enjoy. I thought it very well acted. But yeah, now, yeah.
No, I'll just let you know as well. Just when, like you say, you stopped because episode 3 it was very sad. You are correct; it is extremely very sad, and it doesn't get any more lighter than that because some of the episodes beyond that too are also sad, and some of them are shocking. So definitely, like I could respect your decision, like to stop, especially kind of like with those opinions as well. But I absolutely love this series. I think it's definitely the Actually, you know what? That'd be a very good way for me to try to think on for the official voting that begins tomorrow for the Real Horror Awards, which I'll mention that here in a minute. But because it's down between 2 shows. But man, The Last of Us, though, it was so terrific. I think Pedro Pascal was just the perfect fit to play Joel, and the girl too that they casted as well. A lot of people had a problem with her, but I thought she was just absolutely spectacular, and I am so excited for season 2. So like, I just can't get enough of this show. I thought it was just well done, but the best thing I can say, cinematography and just the design of the creatures, I thought were all of it was just 110% top notch. So, and I want to get Danner's comment in before we start wrapping things up. He said, The Last of Us was shot in my area in Canada. You actually see our most famous landmark in episode 4 at the bridge. It's not broken in real life, though. Really? Okay. I'm going to have to rewatch that episode and see what you're talking about, Danner. That's awesome because I'm kind of jealous of Brad right now because they just started production for Stranger Things and they started it in around where he's living. So I'm just I'm jealous.
Let me know if you see Joseph Quinn out there.
I'll text Brad that because I'm sure if anybody will know, it would be him for what he does. So let's see here. I don't see anything else in the chat or what I had. Did you have anything else from 2003?
2023?
What did I say?
2003.
Well, damn, I wish I'd go back to 2003. But no, 2023. Did you have anything else?
I do have one movie, one that I have not seen. Probably the most controversial movie of last year. It was added to streaming, so that's why it's like a January release. Skinamarink.
Gosh.
Have not watched it. This is a movie that I did try to watch when I first moved in, but I just was not in the headspace to like immerse myself into a movie. Like, nothing was up there. So I tried to watch it a couple of times. I was just like, I can't watch it right now. Like, that's just it. And I don't want to like not give this movie a fair chance because I know you have to fully be invested. So it's not one that I've been able to watch yet, but I think I'm going to try to watch it Tuesday because Brayden has a movie that he's watching, Mean Girls, the new one. And so I think I'm going to watch it because, won't be able to talk to I'm not going to be able to talk to him, of course. And I'll have like my phone away, lights fully off. See, I need to watch it. Like, I need to watch it. I need to watch it.
And then
because I know it's so.
Let's see.
I have to watch it. Oh, and also my TV was very small at the time. And this is not something you want to watch on a small screen. But I have a bigger TV now. And so, like, I have everything now that, like, I can watch it. Like, good headspace to watch it, turn off all the lights, nothing, put my phone away. Like, I want to, like, fully be in this. I want to see what my mind makes up for me.
I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you, you are a brave soul because I guess that's why I forgot to put it on my list. It's because I heard nothing but horrible, horrible things about it. As I believe Drum Duns Lee said it best. It's like watching paint dry. Nothing happens. That's all I hear. And I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it to myself. I
know that's what people say, but then there's people that love it who are on the complete opposite who say like, because there's a YouTuber I watch, and he's not necessarily like a horror channel, but he does talk a lot about horror movies. And he just posted a video about this on my birthday, actually. And so, like, I was watching his video while I was, like, getting ready. And he was talking about Skinamarink, and I was just watching it. And he was like, he said, like, you're just watching, and you're just watching kind of like nothing. But then he said, like, afterwards, he's like, I still feel creeped out, and I can't tell you why. And I was like, that's what I want, you know? Like, I want to not sit there and be like, oh my God, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. But, like, I want to feel unsettled. And I want to feel like, oh my God, where am I? You know? So I'm hoping that I'm more on that side, and I hope it's not the side that I hate it. And if I hate it, at least I gave it a shot. Just because I've been curious about it for a year now, and I still haven't seen it. So I'm excited.
Well, okay, I'll make you a deal. When you watch it, if I see you put more, or I feel like a 3.5 or more, I'll watch it. If it's anything below a 3.5, I'm just gonna put it in the 3 territory and make it be lost forever. So there we go. Anything else you have from 2023?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. So, all right, let's go ahead and close this out with the best and worst, and then we'll just see you all for the next month. So, the first thing we'll go at is the worst movies of January, and that is I, Frankenstein by the critics of Rotten Tomatoes, Vacancy 2 by the audience of Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb gave the worst to Gutterball, and Letterboxd gave the worst to I, Frankenstein. Those are the movies you should absolutely stay away from. And then the best ones that you absolutely should watch. And I'm going to only include movies. I know The Last of Us pretty much dominated this category. So that's why I decided this particular card is always just going to be about movies. And that is Son of Frankenstein dominates most of the board here, with Megan from the audience getting the highest score of 78. So pretty good scores there. Those are some of the best you should absolutely watch. And also, Destiny, what are some of these movies that we talked about today that you would recommend them watch?
Intruder, if you want just like a fun, like silly time, like turn off your brain. It's not, it's not going to be like the best movie you've ever seen, but it's a fun time. What else? Angel, that one's actually pretty good, better than I kind of expected. The Lodge, if you haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. Little Monsters, I feel like isn't talked about a whole lot, and it's just a really cute movie. I had a good time watching that one, so I'd recommend that one. And then Infinity Pool, because that was my favorite movie last year. If you want something new.
Hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. If you want something weird, definitely do Infinity Pool. With me, I would go with Intruder as well. Fun environment, different, unique setting for a horror film. I would say Black Roses, just so you can experience the awesome soundtrack. And I forgot to mention this too when we were talking about it. My local store has the VHS of Black Roses that I just want to buy. I just don't have the money. Once I get that particular raise that I've been waiting for like almost 4 years now, that's one of the first things I'm going to buy is that VHS, just because it's so amazing. And I always
have yes. Isn't it like raised too? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's like an extra cool like bonus for that.
Yeah. And I want it. I mainly want it for somebody else, but I just want it because it's just like it's always sitting there. It's always staring at me. Just if you could make it less than $100, he goes, dude, I will give you any other discount, but this one I cannot do. I'm like, fuck. So there's Black Roses for you. And then the last one is The Uninvited, just so you can experience the twist if you've not seen it.
Yeah, that one's fun, mm-hmm. but also like heavy. I remember watching it in theaters. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I was like 10, maybe 11. I was just oh my God, this is crazy. What the fuck? But it stuck with me. That movie definitely stuck with me since I saw it in theaters. There's still so much I remember, even though it's been so long. But I remember a lot from that movie. So yeah, that one's a good one. Good pick.
Definitely. I agree. And I want to rewatch it for myself just to experience that twist again, because I still remember it. And then the first time I watched it, I was like, oh shit, like why are more people not talking about this twist? So that's why I definitely recommend it as well. So with that in mind, Destiny, any other last minute thoughts before we get out of here?
Nope.
All right.
Man, I did not have that many on my list, but We managed to talk for 2 hours. Amazing.
Yeah, and because we just went a lot at left field, but on this particular stream. But you know what? That's some of the best conversations we get too, as well. So all of it is just awesome. So we will go ahead and end it out because I just now realized I got owed Destiny $20 versus $10 for going over the 2 hour time limit. So I guess that's why she went out of left field sometimes. I'm kidding.
It's my new tactic.
Yeah, so damn you. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We have not decided February date yet, but hopefully by towards the end of January, we will get that February show lined up for you. Just pay attention to the socials and all that. All Destiny socials are in the description down below if you want to go support her and her show of Fear Freaks that she does with Brayden. And lastly, tomorrow is going to be the official poll for the Real Horror Awards. The ballot will be released. I would appreciate A, you voted, and B, more importantly, share it because I'm trying to get the goal to 300 votes. And we will only have 5 days to do it because I got to do a lot of editing and work and talk with my presenters on their part to make sure they give them time. So I will post more about that tomorrow, but we are done for today. Let's start. Great start to this new season, and we are out of here, and we will see you all next month.